Hi, and welcome to Fog of Work. If you are here, it means you feel it too. That creeping sense that something is deeply wrong. You worked hard, followed the rules, done everything you were supposed to do, yet somehow the life you were promised feels further away than ever. I spent almost 40 years walking the path I was shown, believing that if I just keep going, I'd reach the destination: stability, security, and a better future. But now I see it for what it really is. The destination doesn't exist. It never did. The rules we followed, they were written to keep us moving, chasing, exhausting ourselves for a prize that was never meant for us. And I know I'm not the only one who sees it. We were told that hard work pays off, that education leads to opportunity, that loyalty and dedication would be rewarded. But here we are, burnt out, underpaid, overworked, and wondering what went wrong. It's not just you, it's not just me. The system is broken, and it's time we talk about it. The idea that hard work leads to success is an outdated illusion. It was once the foundation of society, but now it serves as nothing more than a corporate tool to extract as much labor as possible from employees while giving as little as they can in return. Companies no longer value results, only the appearance of them. Performance is manipulated, numbers are fabricated, and those who work the hardest often find themselves overlooked and discarded. Loyalty means nothing in the corporate world. There is no job security, no guarantees, no stability. You can dedicate years of your life to a company only to be tossed aside the moment the balance sheet demands it. And yet, control over employees continues to tighten. Lies, propaganda, and toxic positivity are used to pacify workers, convincing them that suffering is a badge of honor rather than a sign of exploitation. We were sold a dream: study hard, get a degree, find a job, buy a house, and build a stable life. That dream is dead. Home ownership is a distant fantasy for many, with prices rising far beyond what an average salary can support. Student debt has become a modern form of indentured servitude, trapping entire generations in financial insecurity. The promise of upward mobility has been replaced by a cycle of debt, stagnation, and dependence on corporations that hold all the power. We are told to chase stability, but the truth is, stability was never meant for us. It was a tool to keep us running on a treadmill that never stops. The middle class is disappearing, swallowed by an economy designed to extract every last cent from those who work the hardest. Even with two incomes, many families struggle to keep up with the rising cost of living. Inflation surges while wages stagnate, yet corporations continue to report record profits, shifting the blame onto the economy while cashing in on the suffering of the working class. We are no longer working to live, we are living to work. The cost of survival has never been higher, and the reward for our labor has never been lower. Basic necessities that once felt secure, a stable home, access to healthcare, a reliable retirement, are now slipping further out of reach. People are drowning in expenses, trapped in cycles of debt just to afford what should be fundamental rights. And while we struggle to get by, those at the top continue to accumulate wealth at an accelerating pace, with no regard to their lives being crushed beneath them. The illusion of freedom is carefully maintained, but the truth is that speaking out, pushing back, or even questioning the system comes with consequences. Challenge the narrative at work and you risk being blacklisted. Express the wrong opinion in public and you could lose everything. The punishment for stepping out of the line is swift and severe. Even the basic ability to change jobs or relocate has been taken from us. The cost of moving, the risk of unemployment, and the shrinking pool of opportunities keep people chained to jobs they despise. Work has consumed every part of life, leaving no room for personal choice, flexibility, or rest. The only real freedom left is the freedom to suffer in silence or to disappear entirely into homelessness and poverty. For decades, billionaires, oligarchs, and corporations have influenced governments, shaping policies to benefit their own interests at the expense of the working class. Through lobbying and backroom deals, they have secured laws that maximize profits while stripping workers of protections. They have hoarded wealth, exploited tax loopholes, and manipulated economies to ensure they always win, while the rest of us are left to struggle. But in 2024, with the election of Donald Trump as US president and his close relationship with Elon Musk, we entered a new era. Oligarchs are no longer content with simply influencing government. They are the government. This marks the beginning of a new world order where corporate interests no longer need to hide behind politicians. They dictate policy directly, unchallenged, with no oversight and no accountability. It is about control. The shift we are witnessing is the consolidation of power into the hands of the few, where workers are nothing more than resources to be extracted and discarded at will. Despite all of this, society remains blind to the reality of the situation. People prefer the comfort of delusion, refusing to see what is right in front of them. Rather than uniting to challenge the system, we turn on each other. Division is carefully maintained by race, by class, by ideology, so that those who suffer the most never realize they are all fighting the same battle. We are trained to blame each other instead of looking at the forces keeping us divided. Struggling workers blame immigrants instead of corporations that refuse to pay fair wages. The poor blame the slightly less poor, while billionaires hoard resources. We have been programmed to compete rather than collaborate, ensuring that we remain weak and disorganized. As long as we fight each other, the system remains intact. The suffering is silent. No one wants to acknowledge that the dream is gone. And so people remain isolated, exhausted, and afraid. But it doesn't have to be this way. I created Fog of Work to break the silence, to connect with people who see through the illusion and want something more. This channel is not just about exposing the system. It is about finding ways to fight back. But the truth is, we can't fight back alone. The only way we can change anything is by standing together. We have to wake up more people, bring awareness to what is happening, and build a community strong enough to push back against those who seek to control us. The more of us that see through the fog, the harder it becomes for them to keep us in line. We are not powerless. We are not alone. Together we can challenge the hamster wheel, slow it down, or even step off entirely. There are ways to take back control, to rebuild our lives on our own terms, and to reclaim the future that was stolen from us. If this message resonates with you, check out my other videos. Leave a comment below and share your observations. What have you seen in your workplace? How has the system affected your life? Let's bring these discussions into the open. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos. Let's clear the fog together. Thank you for being here.